Today, the long-awaited pack featuring the Dutch trio of Gullit, Rijkaard and Van Basten has been released. We will look at how to train them, what skills and boosters they need, and compare them to their old cards to see whether it's worth spending coins. Here comes Pippa. Welcome everybody, let's get right into this and start with Gullit. Now there are so many builds you could give him and they'd all be good because he is so versatile. The first build is for an attacking midfielder. 7 points in shooting, which ultimately gets him up to 85, which should be fine for a midfielder. The reason why we're not looking for the +3 manager boost here is because it would be pretty expensive, as the new Gullit reaches it at the 10th shooting point, which is pretty late. 4 points in passing, because as an attacking midfielder, he will have to do some more advanced passes at some point, and the first 4 points are the most efficient ones. Considering he has visionary pass, it's even more important that his passes find the target. If you really want it, you could take 1, 2 or even 3 points off passing and add them somewhere else if you feel like you need it. 10 points in dribbling grant him phenomenal ball control as well as great dribbling, which he both really needs as an attacking midfielder. Number 1, because they often carry the ball forward when doing a counterattack, and higher dribbling allows them to be faster. And number 2, high ball control improves ball control obviously, which can be crucial when attempting to control and quickly move the ball to get into a position to finish. +3 manager boost for both stats here. 8 points in dexterity to boost his acceleration, offensive awareness and balance. Also 8 for lower body strength, granting him nice speed, great kicking power and a +3 manager boost for stamina. 6 points in aerial to improve one of his biggest strengths, which is physical contact and aerial duels. +3 boost for heading here. 4 points in defending, as in many formations the attacking midfielder will chase back. The first 4 points are the most efficient ones, and his base is incredibly high for a registered second striker. If you want to play him as a central midfielder or just overall want him to be more defensively, you could also give him a few more points here. The second build is a bit more offensive, and while it can still be used as an AMF, it's more for a second striker or even a forward. Basically, as a second striker will naturally get to finish more often than an attacking midfielder, I removed the points from defending and passing and added them to shooting. This grants us the +3 manager boost here, resulting in 89 finishing and 92 curl. Also, since second strikers don't chase back, points in defending aren't really needed. Build 3 is a build optimized for finishing, featuring 12 points in shooting, now getting up to 91 finishing and 94 curl. Also makes him a great free kicker, by the way. I reduced dribbling by 2 and gave it to dexterity, as a finisher type of player will need the acceleration, offensive awareness and balance a bit more than the dribbling stats. To get the remaining points, I reduced lower body strength by 3, still maintaining 90 kicking power and the +3 manager boost for speed. The last build is really the pure finisher. Slight reductions in dribbling and aerial strength to get dexterity up to 13. This gets his acceleration to 96 and balance as well as offensive awareness to 89. So if you're mainly using him as the final player to finish the job, this build could be for you. Which build is best for you really depends on your formation, the position you want him in and your personal playstyle. As for skills, I would give him long range curler, aerial superiority and first time shot. From there on, it depends what you want. I will definitely also give him double touch because I want it in all my offensive players. The last skill is really variable. Could give him soul control for knock-ons, any other feint you like cut behind and turn, could give him gamesmanship, or if you plan to use him mainly as a central or attacking midfielder, you could even give him interception or trackback. His defensive stats are solid, he's tall, leg length 9 is okay. I don't see why he wouldn't do nice interceptions as a CMF or AMF. For the second booster, I would prefer Striker's Instinct. Shooting would also make sense, and there are probably a few more boosters he would do fine with considering how versatile he is. Now let's compare him to the previous Gullit. Since there are many different possible builds, let's just compare without any build or manager boost first. Manager proficiency also not considered. The first individual booster counts, but not the second one. It's a small limitation here. Old Milan Gullit wins offensive awareness and ball control by 2, but then loses dribbling and tight possession also by 2. The new Dutch Gullit wins low pass by 2 and lofted pass by 1. However, is down by 1 in finishing. New one wins heading by 1, but loses place kicking by 4. So far, this is all pretty similar. Now, probably the most remarkable difference, new one wins speed and acceleration by 2. He loses jump by 2, but wins balance by the same amount. Old one has 3 more stamina, new one has 1 more defensive awareness. Now, I would say the new one is slightly better than the old one, although not at everything. We do have to consider that the new one can have a second booster, so the difference is slightly bigger than it shows here. Now, if we use some reasonable builds to compare them both best, in fact, nothing changes. Exactly the same differences all over. Let's move to the next player, Rijkaard. Note that this one, unlike the last one, is using the same model as the big time Rijkaard, meaning he has better leg length here, namely 11. First build is for a center back, preferably in a playstyle like quick counter where the defense is far up. 7 in dexterity, this is his weak point. 8 in lower body strength, granting him the +3 manager boost for speed here. That's why I did it this way and not the other way around, as now it's +2 in speed rather than only +1 in acceleration. 7 in aerial strength, just reaching the +3 manager boost in physical contact. All the remaining points go to defending. The second build is if your defense is further back, such as with long ball counter, and you can get away with worse top speed. 8 in dexterity, acceleration is a bit more important now. Only 4 in lower body strength, 85 speed is alright. 8 in aerial this time, 1 more than before. Again, all the other points go into defending. If you want, you could drop 1 point in defending for 2 in lower body strength if you feel like you need the additional speed. You could also go with even less points in defending and increase dexterity if you like. The third build is for a defensive midfielder, so we do need 4 points in passing and 3 in dribbling to make sure he can handle the ball to a minimum. 8 points in both dexterity and lower body strength, not only to be fast, but stamina is also a bit more important for a midfielder than for a defender. 7 in aerial strength, just like in the first build. 9 in defending, it's fine to have a bit less here compared to the CB builds. If necessary, you could remove a point in defending to increase passing or dribbling, or even dexterity if you really need. Speaking of dexterity, this last build is for those who like to run a bit less defending but more dexterity instead. Definitely also a decent build for a defender. If you want to use it for a midfielder, you'd probably want to remove 1 from defending and 1 from dexterity and put them into passing and dribbling respectively. As for skills, he absolutely needs aerial superiority, header and low lofted pass. I would also give him through passing, since you will probably also want to use him as a defensive midfielder. For the last skill, pick whatever you like. Track back is an option, gamesmanship, any feint you like, double touch, whatever floats your boat. For the second booster, I would always go for defending. Acceleration is his weak point and increasing it costs a lot. Defending is just as expensive, so this is the booster I would choose. If you don't want defending, you could also go for hard worker, especially as a midfielder. Now let's see how he compares to his previous card. This time we need to use builds because they have a different amount of maximum levels. As usual, I try to use builds that are optimal and good for a comparison. Just like before, no second booster included. And here we see that it's actually not as clear as with Gullit. Low pass -2, lofted pass -6, heading -4 and physical contact -2 isn't really good for the new one. The new one does win speed by 4 though. Here, he also loses acceleration by 2, but you could build him so he doesn't, and with the second booster, he could even be +1 compared to the old one. At least he does win the 2 more important defensive stats by 2, although technically by 3 if we count the second booster. From a brand new card, I expected a bit more, to be honest. Unlike Gullit, he doesn't have any special ability. I would say he's slightly better than the old one, but it's really marginal. The last one, Marco van Basten, one of the best Dutch players ever in history, almost as good as Roy Mackay or Arjen Robben. No bias here, move along. 8 points in shooting for 95, which is really nice. 1 point in passing because it remained. 7 in dribbling, grant him the +3 manager boost in both ball control and tight possession. 11 in dexterity, make sure his offensive awareness and acceleration are on point. Balance, as for many tall players, but not Gullit, is still pretty low. 8 in lower body strength for the +3 manager boost in kicking power. 5 in aerial for the +3 manager boost in heading. Now you could probably modify this build a little, for example, reducing dexterity and adding the points to either shooting or aerial. Feel free to also use the extra point from passing for this. As for skills, I would give him fighting spirit and and double touch. From there on, it's your call. Soul control, just like for Gullit, can be useful for knock-ons, especially since both can do them with either foot. You could also give him flip-flap for the special double touch. Other options are any feints you like, gamesmanship, whatever you need. For the second booster, I would choose Striker's Instinct. Another option, as before, would be shooting. Let's see how he compares to his old card. Now, while the old card does win offensive awareness, ball control and low pass, except for stamina and tackling, everything else is a win for the new one, and sometimes a massive win. +6 in dribbling is huge, +4 in tight possession is nice, +12 in curl is insane, so is +5 in kicking power. More speed and physical contact are welcome as well. This is what I call a clear upgrade, and he even has phenomenal finishing, and no second booster included here. Now on to the big question, should you spin? It's a good question, huh? In my opinion, if you have all of the old cards, stay away. If you have Gullit and Rijkaard, stay away, still not worth it. If you only have Gullit, I would probably still stay out. If you don't have any of these, then perhaps it's worth it. That's my personal situation right now. To be honest, I expected a bit more out of these cards. Gullit is an upgrade, Visionary Pass is also nice, but it's not a huge upgrade. Neither is Rijkaard. The only notable upgrade would be Van Basten. The thing is, all three cards on their own in a vacuum are fantastic. That's not it. It's just that when considering the power curve, they are by far not as far ahead as their former cards were. I think it's even debatable whether this Rijkaard is like an absolute endgame card. Because if we put him next to the new Thuram, who I consider the endgame card, it's a clear win for Thuram. But even if not, it's still Rijkaard and he's still extremely good. My personal worries are that they use this pack so that everyone who doesn't have Gullit or Rijkaard spins for them. And in 2 or 3 months, they then release other versions of them which are as far ahead of the curve as their old versions were that people want to go in again. No idea if that's really gonna happen though. So if you don't have any of these cards, you could go in if you wanted. I'm still considering. If you have at least Gullit, I would absolutely stay away. Remember, this is all just my 2 cents, all just my personal opinion. Other people may have different views. That's it, folks. Let me know if you liked this video. I'd love if you subscribed, liked, or commented. Until then, guys, take it easy. Shaka!